Due to the engine oil filter being on top of the engine, I like to open the engine oil filter canister and let it drain into the crankcase before removing the filter. Using the oil filter socket, unscrew the filter lid, red arrow, until the threads are fully disengaged from the filter console, blue arrow. You can usually hear the oil start to gurgle as it drains out of the filter housing. Then just leave it sitting there until we are ready to pull the filter out and replace it. Safely raise and support the vehicle on jack stands. If you need additional assistance with that task, please follow the link provided at the end of this video. The oil change is more effective if performed on a fully warmed up motor. Once up in the air, locate the 4 drain plugs, green arrows and blue arrow, and drain them one at a time. The 19mm reservoir drain plug, blue arrow, will contain the most engine oil, so I like to do this one first. The hotter your engine is, the harder that oil will spray out, so be cautious on a fully warmed up motor. If your car has not yet had the magnetic engine case drain plug installed, now is a good time to do it. On the left side of this picture, you can see the non-magnetic plug, and on the right side, you can see the magnetic plug. It's very easy upgrade to do while changing the oil. Using your 27mm wrench and 19mm socket, loosen the oil reservoir drain plug with the 19mm socket while holding the counter nut, blue arrow, with your 27mm wrench. Let the reservoir drain for about 10 minutes or until you see the flow drop to a few drips per minute. If you have multiple drain buckets, you can do the engine case, reservoir, and turbo oil reservoir at the same time. If not, I recommend draining them one at a time. Always replace the drain plug sealing washers and torque each drain plug to its specified torque. The turbo oil reservoirs may not have sealing washers when you drain them, but it is important to install seal washers after draining them. After all the drain plugs have been torqued, make sure to clean thoroughly with brake spray. Moving back up to the top of the engine, now replace the oil filter cartridge. Have a few rags handy in case the filter drips oil. Pull the filter and lid assembly, red arrow, out of the console, green arrow. There will usually be a bit of oil left in the filter console after the filter cartridge is removed. Then use a fluid extraction tool or turkey baster and get the last bit of old oil out. Now slide the old oil filter cartridge off the oil filter lid. The new oil filter kit will come with a new oil filter lid O-ring, red arrow. Make sure to replace this O-ring. At the other end of the filter lid is an O-ring, green arrow, that can be damaged after years of oil changing. Make sure to inspect this O-ring as well and replace it if it looks damaged. It might be a good idea to order this one and keep it handy for when you need to replace it. Next, lubricate the inner lip, green arrow, of the oil filter insert on both ends with either fresh motor oil or the O-ring grease. Then slide the new filter cartridge until it bottoms out on the lid. Install the new oil filter lid O-ring, red arrow, and lubricate it with engine oil. Reinstall the oil filter cartridge assembly to the console and torque to spec. Now open the oil cap, red arrow, and pour in the initial fill of engine oil to the oil filler neck. I like to start with 7 to 8 quarts. Then start the car, check for leaks around the oil filter lid and around the drain plugs. Let the car idle on a level surface in a well-ventilated area. Once at operating temperature, green arrow, you can initiate the oil level measurement via the instrument cluster. If the car is not yet warmed up enough, you will receive a message that the oil level measurement is not possible. Simply allow the car more time to warm up. Using the onboard computer stock, red arrow, press the stock forward to access the main menu on the left side of the digital display for the onboard computer, green arrow. Now use the stock to scroll up or down to highlight oil, green arrow, and then press the stock forward to select oil. Then push the stock forward to select Start Measurement, green arrow. The measurement will take a few moments. Continue to add engine oil until the reading is between the upper and lower marks, green arrows. For reference, it takes about 1 quart to raise the oil level from the minimum mark to the maximum mark. You do not have to turn the engine off to add oil, but it is a good practice to wait a minute or so between adding oil and initiating the oil measurement again. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.